Hello, game discoverers. I'm back with another video. We're gonna dive deep into this whole Redfall situation being capped at 30 FPS. I'm gonna give you my take on why this concerns me. Surprisingly enough, it doesn't have anything to do with the frame rate of the game. I'm okay with 30 frames to be honest. But that doesn't mean that I don't think Redfall is not in big trouble. Secondly, we're gonna get to know why this stuff keeps happening with Xbox post-launch, pre-launch. Every launch they have, there should be some problems with them. Like you cannot expect a safe release from Xbox these days. And then we can get to figure out how they can fix this. And actually, can they even fix it? I don't know. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Alrighty, first things first. Just because the game is capped at 30 FPS, it does not mean that the game is gonna be bad. You cannot enjoy it or you shouldn't download it, whatever. I mean, come on, man. Red Dead, Breath of the Wild, God of War, Sekiro, Last of Us, Uncharted, all these amazing games all ran at 30 FPS in their time on the last gen consoles, on PS4 and Xbox One. They all ran at 30 FPS, and trust me, at points, they dipped into the 20s region. We still love them, we enjoyed them, we played them multiple times, and they won so many awards. So the game being capped at 30 FPS cannot be an issue itself. For all I can say, Redfall can win the game of the year if it's an amazing game. But then again, me myself, I'm gonna tell you why it's not gonna win the game of the year probably. Since the release of Xbox Series X and S and PS5, having a performance mode which offers 60 FPS or above, maybe even 120, is a bare bone, is a minimum that a game can offer you. Of course, if you're playing Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo 2, maybe not. But we're talking about first party AAA games released by Xbox itself. This game is gonna release on quote unquote the most strong console ever and cannot handle a game looking like Redfall at 60 FPS. Come on, I'm not saying Redfall looks bad, but it doesn't look as good as God of War for sure. And God of War runs at 120 FPS on a console which is weaker than the Xbox Series X, coded by Microsoft itself. So my issue is not the fact that Redfall runs at 30 FPS. I have played games at lower frame rates and I've absolutely enjoyed them. The issue is by this we can understand that Microsoft is pushing this game out of the door. Microsoft is fighting with the devs to force them to push this out of the door just because they want to hit a stupid release date. I mean, don't we get Minecraft Legends 10 days before this game comes? Is it like that urgent to have a game 10 days after a big release? And 10 days before the biggest release of the year, maybe of the decade. We all know what Breath of the Wild did to Horizon Forbidden West. No, it was the other one, it was the first one. Horizon Zero Dawn. If this game is remotely bad, people are not gonna play it 10 days after its release. Everyone's gonna be playing Tears of the Kingdom, including myself. So, to put it in a nutshell, the biggest issue with this situation is the fact that when you see that Xbox is skipping the most bare bone feature on this game, then you can expect more features to be dropped by Microsoft. By this, we can say for sure that this game is being pushed out just like Halo Infinite. Did I just say Halo Infinite? Look, man, I believe the damage is already done. Even if this game comes out and it's amazing, because people perceive this as a bad game before its release, it's not gonna hit what Microsoft was expecting this to hit. You know, this is not gonna be this is not gonna get that must play mark on Metacritic for sure. If the game is a mess and Microsoft just wants to get it out of the door to start a new project under their own leadership, because let's face it, Redfall is not produced under Microsoft. Redfall was in production before Microsoft acquired Bethesda, so maybe Xbox got to know that this is a mess anyways. They need so much time to fix it and they just prefer to get it out of the door, get on with it, move on to a new project and do their best for the future of the studio and the future of Redfall maybe if there is a sequel. But if they want this game to succeed at any rate, I think they should delay this right now. because it comes 10 days after a big release from Microsoft themselves and 10 days before the biggest release of the decade. I mean, you don't want to mess with Cheers of the Kingdom. I swear to God, you don't want to mess with them because you see those trailers, you see what they're doing with their games. You don't want to mess with them. You don't want to be around their release window. You don't want to fuck with them. But the main question, man, is why does Xbox get blown up, bullied by the internet every time they have a release? I mean, internet bothers them the closer they get to the release of their games, and a few months after, as the problems, bugs, I don't know, lack of support for their games looms larger. A few months after the release of each game, this former dev talks to one journalist, and it becomes viral on the internet. For the past year, they've been fighting with Sony over their acquisition of Activision. Like they can't catch a break, like they can't take a breath. I think it's mainly due to the fact that they like when it comes to the games. I mean, I don't know about the acquisition of Activision, but like when it comes to their games, I think they announced them way too early. Remember the big game show we had before the release of Xbox Series X, the big push before that, and they announced Avowed, Outer Worlds 2, State of Decay, Fable, Forza Motorsport, which is still not out yet. They announced Forza Horizon 5 a year later, and it's been out for almost 2 years now. I mean, why didn't they show us Forza Horizon 5 on that day if that game was actually ready in a better state than Forza Motorsport? They announced Perfect Dark later, and we know nothing about it. There is an Indiana Jones game being developed, and again, we know nothing about it. They showed Everwild, and later we got to know that the game is in pre-production, like they don't exactly know what they're making. But Xbox just wanted to announce it. They just cannot wait. Like we almost know exactly what each of their studios is doing right now, which is not necessarily at all. Like, do we know what is Sony doing aside from Final Fantasy, the new one, and Spider-Man? Not much. Do we know any of the future plans for Nintendo's next gen console or like anything after Tears of the Kingdom? Was actually one game that we know of. Oh, Pikmin. There is a new Pikmin game also coming, but after that, nothing. They, they wait for their games to actually finish. When it's like 3 months away from release, they announce it. They show a few trailers, not a lot of trailers. They don't give their games out to IGN and like I don't know, GameSpot and all those websites to do whatever they want with their games. They control the information of their games with their own hands. They show you what you should see, not anything else, and then they release it when it's ready. Xbox does the exact opposite. They show you way too much, they announce it way too early, they give it to everyone. Why should even IGN get their hands on the game? Microsoft Loki, we all know that the game is not ready. Why do you give it out to the media? At least don't do that. Like, do you hate yourself? Do you want to hurt yourself? Not saying being transparent with your customers is a bad thing, but trust me, if Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom was running at 20 FPS, we wouldn't know. We would not know. They would sell the game to us first, we would play and enjoy it, and then Digital Foundry would come and be like, oh, this game runs at 20 FPS, by the way. And people would be like, oh, it doesn't matter because the game is fucking nice. Xbox's PR team has this culture of self sabotage. They do not have to tell you everything about their games, especially stuff like this. Either delay the fucking game until it's ready, or you don't have to talk about it every day. You don't have to have a shit show on IGN about a game which is not ready. Your devs don't have to tweet the fact that your game is gonna run at 30 FPS on the most strong console of all time in 2023. You do not have to do this to yourself. I don't know why this keeps happening. Like every time I'm talking about Microsoft, gradually I get angry at them because of the stuff they do to themselves. The situation with Halo was like one day they would say like, okay, we are gonna add couch co-op. It's a core part of the game. It's a core part of the Halo history. You cannot play without it. We have learned a lesson from Halo 5. Then the next day, Joseph Statham would come be like, oh, it's not here, but we are gonna add it on a later patch. Then 2 months later, he would come be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Like, we're not gonna do it. It's not worth it. People don't play it. People want to play online. We're committed to fix the game." And then 5 months later, they fire the guy. They put him in some other department in Xbox. It's a whole mess. Could you please not slap yourself in the face, Microsoft? In my language, we call this spitting upwards because then it comes back to your own face. This is what I think Microsoft keeps doing to themselves. And actually, I think their games are not as bad as they make them look like. And yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Please let me know what you think about the Redfall situation. Are you okay playing it at 30 FPS? Are you like me thinking it being capped at 30 FPS means more and the game is not complete? Do you think they should delay? Do you think they should just release it? Do you not even care at all? And yeah, please like and subscribe if you like the content. If you don't like it, please dislike and let me know what you didn't like what you didn't like about the content, and I can improve upon it. So see you next time. Thank you. Bye bye.